Imagine staying in a luxurious hotel, surrounded by breathtaking mountains. But when night falls, the lights flicker, whispers echo through the empty hallways, and doors lock on their own. You try to leave, but you feel something or someone watching you. Sounds like a horror movie, right? Well, this place is real, and it's so haunted that it inspired one of the most terrifying books of all time, The Shining by Stephen King. Today, we're diving into the mysteries of the Stanley Hotel, one of the most haunted places in the world, where guests and staff witness ghostly apparitions, objects moving on their own, and even voices from beyond. But is it all real? Stay until the end, because I'll show you evidence that might just send chills down your spine. 1. Before it became a hotspot for paranormal activity, the Stanley Hotel had a very different purpose. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, the hotel was meant to be a luxurious retreat in the heart of the Colorado mountains. Stanley, a successful businessman and co-founder of the Stanley Motor Carriage Company, moved to Estes Park for his health and fell in love with the area. He decided to build a grand hotel, offering world-class service and elegance. But little did he know, it would also become a playground for spirits. From the very beginning, guests and staff reported strange occurrences. Unexplained laughter echoing in empty hallways, old-timey piano music playing in the dead of night, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. Some even claimed to see the ghost of Freeland Stanley himself, still roaming the corridors, ensuring his hotel remains as grand as it once was. But the real horror, that would come years later, when a certain famous author checked in and had a terrifying experience that would change horror history forever. If you think ghost stories are just urban legends, wait until you hear about the spirits that are said to haunt the Stanley Hotel. Some of these ghosts are so active that guests specifically request to stay in their rooms, if they dare. Let's start with the infamous Room 217, the very room that inspired The Shining. In 1974, Stephen King and his wife stayed at the Stanley Hotel during the off-season. They were the only guest, and that night, King had a vivid nightmare of his son being chased down the halls by a demonic force. He woke up, sweating and terrified, and immediately started outlining what would become one of the most famous horror novels ever written. But the hauntings of Room 217 go way beyond King's nightmare. The most famous ghost said to reside here is Elizabeth Wilson, a former housekeeper who was injured in a gas explosion in 1911, but never truly left. Guests report seeing her spirit hovering over the bed, feeling their suitcases mysteriously unpacked, and even finding their shoes neatly lined up in the morning. Some say she's a helpful ghost, but others claim she doesn't take kindly to unmarried couples sharing a bed. If hearing children laughing in the hallways at night creeps you out, imagine staying at the Stanley Hotel. Many guests report hearing the giggles and running footsteps of ghostly children, only to open their doors and find nothing. Some believe these spirits belong to children who once stayed at the hotel in the early 1900s, forever trapped in a playful afterlife. Then there's the concert hall, one of the most paranormally active areas of the hotel. Here, visitors have reported seeing the ghost of Paul, a former worker who still enforces the old 11 p.m. curfew, sometimes whispering "get out" in guests' ears. And if that's not enough, a spirit named Lucy is said to wander the hall, appearing as a full-bodied apparition. Paranormal investigators have captured her voice in EVP recordings, and some even claim she's touched their hands. With so many eerie encounters, the question remains, are these ghosts real, or is the mind playing tricks in the dimly lit halls of the Stanley Hotel? Hearing ghost stories is one thing, but what if I told you that dozens of visitors have experienced paranormal activity firsthand at the Stanley Hotel? From eerie voices to full-body apparitions, the chilling encounters reported by guests and staff might just convince you that something truly otherworldly is going on here. Many guests report seeing shadowy figures moving through the hallways, especially near room 217. One visitor even claimed to have woken up in the middle of the night, only to see a dark silhouette standing at the foot of their bed, staring. When they turned on the light, the figure disappeared, leaving only an icy chill in the air. Multiple guests have shared stories of hearing children's laughter echoing through the halls late at night. But when they step outside their rooms to check, the hallways are completely empty. No children, no explanation, just the lingering sound of laughter fading into silence. The Stanley Hotel is known for doors mysteriously opening and closing, often with no one around. Security footage has even captured doors slowly creaking open by themselves, as if an unseen force was passing through. Some guests have even said they felt an invisible hand push them while walking down the hall. One of the eeriest reports comes from the grand ballroom, where a beautiful old piano sits. Staff and guests have heard the piano playing at night, with no one sitting at the keys. Many believe it's the spirit of Flora Stanley, the hotel's original owner, still playing her favorite melodies from beyond the grave. With so many first-hand accounts, it's hard to dismiss the Stanley Hotel's haunted reputation. But what's even more terrifying, some of the most chilling encounters have been caught on camera. And what I'm about to show you might just leave you questioning everything. Alright, hearing ghost stories is one thing, but seeing actual evidence, that's a whole different level of terrifying. Over the years, guests and paranormal investigators have captured spine-chilling footage inside the Stanley Hotel. Videos and audio recordings that might just prove this place is truly haunted. What if I told you that a security camera once recorded a transparent figure walking down the hallway in the middle of the night when no guests were around? Or that an EVP session in the concert hall caught a ghostly voice whispering, "Get out," clear as day. And here's the craziest part. Some visitors have even caught shadowy figures standing right behind them in photos, only to realize later that no one else was there when the picture was taken. Are these just tricks of the light, or real proof of the supernatural? Stay with me, because up next, we're diving into some of the most terrifying paranormal evidence ever recorded at the Stanley Hotel. Alright, you've heard the stories, you've seen the reports, but now, let's take a look at actual evidence. Footage, photos, and recordings that might just prove the Stanley Hotel is one of the most haunted places on Earth. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence comes from a security camera inside the Stanley Hotel. Late at night, when the hallways were supposed to be empty, the camera captured something eerie. A transparent figure walking slowly through the corridor. At first, it looks like a trick of the light, until the figure suddenly disappears into thin air. During a paranormal investigation, ghost hunters left a recorder running in one of the hotel's most active rooms. When they played it back, they caught something terrifying. A whispery voice saying, "Get out," clear as day. The voice wasn't heard in real time, but when the investigators heard the playback, they immediately packed up and left. Coincidence? Or was something warning them to leave? And then, there's the infamous ghost photo. A visitor snapped a picture of the hotel's grand staircase, thinking nothing of it. But when they looked at the image later, there was a woman in a Victorian dress standing at the top of the stairs. The problem? There was no one there when the photo was taken. With evidence like this, even skeptics start to wonder, what's really going on inside the Stanley Hotel? Is it just a collection of eerie coincidences? Or is there truly something paranormal lurking in its halls? So, after hearing the terrifying stories, the real encounters, and seeing the chilling evidence, what do you think? Is the Stanley Hotel truly haunted by the spirits of its past guests? Or is there a logical explanation for all of this? One thing is for sure, something strange is happening in this place. The unexplained voices, the shadowy figures, the eerie feelings guests experience. It's hard to dismiss it all as pure coincidence. And let's not forget, this hotel was creepy enough to inspire The Shining, one of the scariest horror stories ever written. Would you dare to spend a night at the Stanley Hotel? Or maybe even in room 217? Let me know in the comments, because I need to hear what you think about this. And if you love exploring real-life haunted locations, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because we have even more terrifying mysteries coming your way. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and watch your back. You never know who or what might be watching you.